Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the course of electric power distribution and utilization. Today we are going to study about substation. What is substation, and then the classification of substation. Then classification according to the service requirement, and at last according to the constructional feature. So first of all, what is substation? The assembly of apparatus used to change some characteristic, that is the voltage, AC to DC conversion, frequency conversion, power factor correction, etc. of the electric supply is called a substation. We use some kind of apparatus, some arrangement of these apparatus, and then we change some parameters of the power system supply, that is, it may be a voltage, a frequency, power factor corrections. So this is called a substation. A substation is an important part of a power system. The continuity of the supply mostly depend to substation, the successful operation of a substation. It is therefore important and essential while designing and building a substation. The following we required some important points in consideration while building or laying out a substation. These are: it should be located at a proper site. The site is very important, and it should be safe and reliable. It should be easily operated and maintained, and it should involve minimum capital cost. In the coming slide, when we classify the substation, you will see that in different area we build different types of substation, and it should be safe, it should be easily operated, and it should be at a proper site. Now the classification of substation. How we classify the substation? There are several ways of classifying substation, but two are the most important ways of classification of substation. One of this is the service or the services requirement, and the second one is the constructional feature. So first we will see what is service requirement, or the classification of substation according to the service requirement. As we define a substation, change some parameter of the supply. So a substation may be called upon to change a voltage level, or improve power factor, or convert AC power into DC power. So according to the service requirement, substation may be classified into: the first one of it is the transformer substation. Those substations which change the voltage level of the electric supply. Mostly of the substation are of transformer substation, because here we change the voltage level, mostly step down. So these type of substation are called transformer substation. These substation receive power at some voltage or high voltage and deliver it to some other voltage or low voltage. So as I told you, the transformer will be the main component in the such type of substation, and most of the substation in power system are of this type. Then we have a switching substation. In this type of substation, we do not change the voltage level, means step up or step down. Here we simply perform the switching operation of a power line, meaning the incoming and outgoing line have the same voltage. The third one is the frequency changer substation. In this type of substation, the supply frequency are known as frequency changing substation. Such a frequency change may be required for industrial utilization. So such a substation will change the supply frequency at different frequency level we need in industry. So this type of frequency, this type of substation is called frequency changer substation. Another of this classification of substation is the power factor correction substation. So those substations which improve the power factor of the system are called power factor correction substation, and such a substation are generally located at the receiving end of the transmission line, where we need to correct the power factor. These substations generally use the synchronous condenser for the power factor improvement. So those substations will change the power factor of the system, and these are located at the receiving end of the power station, and we use a synchronous condenser for the power factor improvement. Converting substation. Now, what is converting substation? Those substations which change the AC power into the DC power are called the converting substation. This type of substation receive AC power and convert it into DC power with suitable apparatus. To supply for such a purposes where we need a DC supply, for example traction, electric welding, etc. Another one is the industrial substation. For industry, we usually have a separate substation. It controls the power or the frequency changing or the power factor correction for the specific industry. So those substations which supply power to an individual industry concern are called is industrial substation. So these are the classification of substation according to the services, meaning different type of services like frequency changing, power changing, or power factor correction. The second one is according to the constructional feature. Classification of substation according to the constructional feature. So a substation has many components. We know that in a substation we have a circuit breaker, switches, instrument relays, instrument transformer, etc., which must be housed properly to ensure the continuous and reliable services. According to the constructional feature, the substation are classified as. So we are studying the classification of substation, and it has two basic classification, or two way we mostly classify the substation. One of it we have studied, we called that according to the services feature, and now the second one is according to the construction feature. So first one is indoor substation. the name suggests, for voltage is up to 11 kV. The equipment of the substation is installed indoor. Because of economic consideration, however, when the atmosphere is contaminated with impurities, these substations can be erected for voltage up to 66 kV. The second one is the outdoor substation for voltage beyond 66 kV. The equipment is installed outdoor. It is because of such a voltage the clearances between the conductor and the space required for switches, circuit breakers and other equipment become so great that it is not economical to install the equipment indoor, because it required more cost, high space, so definitely we need to invest more. So that's why we install such type of substation outdoor. Next one is the underground substation. In populated area, the space available for equipment and building is limited and the cost of the land is high. So in such a situation and circumstances, the substation is created underground. The last one in this category is the pole mounted substation. This is an outdoor substation with equipment installed overhead on H poles or 4-pole structure. It is the cheapest form of substation for voltage not exceeding 11 kV or 33 kV in some cases. So electric power is almost distributed in localities through such a substation. It is outdoor, it has low voltage and it not required a large space. So it is a cheapest form of substation and we call it a pole mounted substation. So it is a comparison between indoor and outdoor substation. The first one of it is the space requirement. Definitely outdoor is more and indoor substation is less. Time required for erection. Outdoor is less because it is outdoor, and for indoor we need to construct more. So that's why it required more time. Future extension is easy and indoor it is difficult. Fault location is easier because the equipment is in full view, and difficult because the equipment is enclosed in indoor substation. Capital cost is low in outdoor and high in indoor. Operation difficult and indoor substation is easier. Possibility of fault escalation less because greater clearance can be provided and more in indoor substation. So that's all, and today we learned about a substation and the classification of substation and its different types. Thank you and Allah Hafiz.